All right, Linda, it's Facebook Friday.
It's Facebook Friday.
We definitely need a theme song. Anyway, here we are, Dr. Gordon and Linda coming at you from Southeastern Fertility. It's the 4th of July holiday edition of Facebook Friday. And actually, I was seeing a patient this morning telling me that she can't wait to see what we're doing today. And I said, I can't wait to see what we're doing either, because I know what. No, we never know what we're going to do. But 4th of July weekend, so obviously we have our patriotic decor here. Yes, you're celebrating the birth of this great nation. And it is a great nation.
It is.
I mean, it really is. I mean, when you think about what this country means and what it means to the world as a bastion of freedom, I think we should be proud of everything that we have here in the United States. I mean, it's not perfect. No place is. But just like they said, Benjamin Franklin said, right? Democracy is absolutely the worst form of government, except for all the other forms of government, right? So I mean, right? I think it was Franklin. Wasn't Franklin that said that more?
That sounds like Ben Franklin. I think that's correct.
So anyway, 4th of July advice, Linda. You gonna blow up fireworks? Can you say? Are they illegal? They must be legal in Tennessee. Every exit there's like fireworks places.
It is in counties, but not in a lot of the cities.
Okay, all right. So people can go to your house, give me your address, show up at Linda's house, set off fireworks. And patient this morning's ENT said very busy weekend for the ENTs. Right? Couple of advice, right? If you light a firework in your hand, do not hold it. Release it. Throw it. Right? Throw it and throw it far. And don't throw it.
Toward
and don't throw it like under a roof where it bounces down and lands back on you. Right? Throw it away from yourself. Right?
And not under the car.
Not under the car. Right? And if you light the firework and you run, clear the space when you're running. Right? So you don't trip and then bust open your lip, or somebody who talked to somebody about that. Ended up in the ER with like a big laceration on the chin, right? Other things, right? If you think it's a dud, you think it didn't go off, don't go and look over and go, hey, I don't know if it's going to go off or not, right? Bad. I did that in Model Rocketry once. I went over trying to figure out, thing went off, and I had this scorch mark right down the middle of my head.
Like, sorry.
That's funny, don't you? Probably why I don't have hair back here anymore. So anyway, so be safe out there on the 4th of July. Don't drink and drive.
No.
Don't drink and drive, right? Probably don't set off fireworks and drink either. There is a Stephen King short story called Drunken Fireworks, and it does not end well. Yes, does not end well.
I try and avoid Stephen King. Not because he's not a good writer, just because I have nightmares. From reading.
His daughter actually went to my high school.
Really?
Yeah, our private school in Milton Academy. Yeah, he actually sent his daughter there. Can you imagine being Stephen King's daughter? Honey, do you want another bedtime story? Oh God, please, no more bedtime stories. No, like you just
seriously. I read one chapter, didn't even get to the spooky part, but the way he described everything was so spooky. I had nightmares about those people.
Oh, I know, right?
Crazy. I mean, he's crazy good.
Yeah. Of course, but not all Stephen King stories are really terrifying, right? I mean,
Well, that chapter wasn't supposed to be. The person was just going into town.
That's right. But I mean, it's so creepy you couldn't finish it. Well, I will say that as a fan of sort of science fiction time travel things, I liked 11/22/63. Do you know what that's about? What happened on 11/22/63? Do you know what date that was? Very important date in history, right? The assassination of JFK. So it's a time travel story about that.
Oh, okay.
And actually it was done on Hulu, and it was really a great adaptation. Probably the best adaptation of a Stephen King novel ever. It was done like as a mini series, and it was really well done.
I'd sign up to watch that.
Yeah, that was a good one. It's not it's not really creepy, but you get to see the big D in 1963. We're going. Because we're going to Dallas. Yeah, next week we're going to Dallas. Because who wouldn't want to go to Dallas in July? I don't know why the hotel rates are seemingly so cheap. I don't know. My son is there. We're going to see Aaron Abbey. So,
well, there you
go.
Well, that's worth it.
That's right.
By the way, Brittany says she loves Facebook Fridays. It's Linda Friday in her book.
Linda Friday. That's it. It's the Linda. I just show up. You don't even really need me at all. I mean, So anyway. In terms of something important and substantive, today.
Yes.
I do want to talk about, we've had a lot of calls and questions about, the fireworks that went on with the Supreme Court decision,
Yes.
right? And
Yes.
so
Lots of questions.
the American Society of Reproductive Medicine did put out this PDF. I think maybe, Mark, we can link it on the website if people want to read it. Okay?
Sure,
And
we can do that.
I got all these calls from family members, text messages from friends saying, oh my gosh, with this decision, IVF is going to be a thing of the past. You won't be able to do IVF. And I was just like, I'm not seeing it. I'm just not seeing it. Now, we are a very life-affirming clinic in terms of the approach we have. We don't want people to create too many embryos. We're a no-discard facility. I felt very comfortable with how we're practicing, so I wasn't really sleep about it at all. But there was just sort of this groundswell of sort of hysteria, and it's in the media. There was a Wall Street Journal article about people moving embryos from one state to another because they thought that I don't know what they thought, because I don't see any of that. So ASRM actually got a group of lawyers who put together this thing and actually said, of course, don't use this for legal advice, so of course they're not going to stand by it. But so if they talked about the states that have trigger laws, and they go through it, and it's basically state by state by state. So you say Arkansas, no impact on IVF or ART. Idaho, no impact on IVF or other reproductive medicine. Kentucky, no impact on IVF or IRT procedures. Louisiana, no references to IVF or reproductive services. No impact on IVF. Mississippi, no impact on IVF or ART procedures. Missouri, no applicable effect on IVF or reproductive medicine services. And it goes through all of them. North Dakota, Oklahoma, no impact on IVF or other ART procedures. So, and it comes right down all the way through Tennessee, no impact on IVF and reproductive medicine. So it goes through all the states, and I'm just saying, I don't know why this.
That's good to know. Good to hear.
Well, it's good to hear that, and
it
does. And I had a patient come in, and they want to use their embryos that they're frozen here, and the husband came in, and he was sort of shaking. He said, my wife has said, you got to get over there because we're going to have to move the embryos. I'm like, why in the world would you be moving embryos from a place that is a no-discard facility when you want to come back and use your embryos? And her reading of this was somehow she was going to be prevented from coming back and using her embryos, which I was like, that's insane. I mean, I'm so sorry that you would even lose, a minute's sleep worrying about something like that in our clinic or in this situation. So it's just not an issue. It's just not an issue. And so this rolls through all those, and even on our local media. There was a TV broadcast locally, and I think this is going to really affect IVF from a fertility physician locally, not one of ours, not Dr. Keenan, and I don't know where you come up with that approach. So I don't think it's an issue. I just don't see it as an issue. I mean, there are those unintended consequences when you think you're doing something and it ends up unintentionally affecting something else, and I think that there's always that potential, but I think ASRM has looked at this carefully. I don't see that as being an issue for the practice of IVF. I think IVF should be practiced responsibly. Yes. We're all about that, and I've told you, there are reasons that we do what we do and how we do it, and it all gets back to that, and it gets back to sort of what is your guiding principle in life, and what you think the meaning of life is, and how you live your life. And we're a clinic that takes care of people of all faiths and of no faith, but we are practicing in ways that course to our faith. And for myself and Dr. Keenan, we're very clear about how we're approaching those patients who need help, and we're willing to walk with you, but there are limits, and there are things that we are not willing to do. And so I think that this is just not going to affect patients, and I'm sorry for patients who in the media were getting just spun up, and the stories of moving embryos from this state to that state. I'm like, for what reason? For what possible reason would you take the risk of moving for no reason when there was nothing coming down on it? That seems crazy to me, Linda.
Right.
But
it's easy when you're so protective of your embryos to jump the gun, or when something like that comes out and everybody's, like you said, the hysteria, and everybody's interpreting everything their own way, but you don't have to worry about it.
Now, Grogu eating your embryos, right? Because you see here, Leah actually put here when she did this Southeastern Fertility, right? So they say very few of the embryos have been consumed by aliens. But I'm just saying that I suppose I'm worried about that. I mean, I'm worried about that.
Here.
None here. Not here, right? I mean, that was a shipping tank that Grogu had, so I don't know where Grogu was where those embryos are coming from, but anyway, I'm not worried about that. Don't worry about those things. Have a wonderful 4th of July weekend.
And be safe.
Be safe. Worry about your fireworks, right? If it's a dud,
don't stick your nose in.
Don't stick your nose in, right? Right. If you light your cherry bomb on fire, what do?
Throw it.
Throw it, right? Don't hold it, right? M80s, right? I know these things. I used to go to Chinatown in Boston, and it wasn't just for Chinese market food either.
Well, I'll just say on that, if you put it in a tailpipe, don't let it be one of your cars.
Oh, no, now we're getting mean.
I mean,
Wow.
Linda kept looking at the cars in the parking lot yesterday. I'm wondering, maybe she's picking out which car she's going to put the explosive in. I don't know.
I think she had a potato in her hand, too.
Maybe. All right. Well, in any case, you've wasted another 11 minutes here on Facebook Friday with Dr. Gordon and Linda, and I hope you all have a wonderful time as we celebrate the birth of our country.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Happy 4th of July.